What's up, everyone? It's Jacob.
And Hannah.
Back here with another episode of Commerce Connects. Today, we have DJ. He is the owner, founder of Steeze Marketing. Tell us how you started Steeze Marketing. Like, where did that come up from?
Yes, sir, man. So, I got a chance to play a little bit of basketball overseas. Not as good as Hannah, but it's all good. Got a chance to play a little bit of basketball. But what I seen was everybody around me who averaged the same as me was getting better contracts, better countries, things of that nature. So I started really looking in. And it was like, okay, this guy has a logo. This guy has edited videos. This guy has a brand. So when I got back to America, I already had my college degree. I was like, let me deep dive into this marketing and branding stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I did that, deep dove into it, started working for housing, marketing companies, and start seeing those numbers I was making for those people. And I was like, nah, bro, I gotta I gotta make that bread for myself. But that's kind of how I've gotten into all this.
Okay. So, kind of what lane are you focusing on, like, nowadays?
Mostly the marketing and branding.
Okay.
But more on the business side of things. My business strategist tells me all the time I'm more of a business strategist, but that's because I care about people's brands so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about just your videos. I don't care about just how aesthetically you look. I care about, are you making money internally? You know?
With you talking about being, like, the kind of strategic route of it, what's one of the biggest mistakes that you see brands or companies make on social media, and how do you think they could avoid them?
I think the biggest one is looking around the weight room. And what I mean by that is, okay, I am, let's say, a local vodka brand. Okay, I'm not supposed to look out at the national brands and be like, I need to look like them right now. I need to be figuring out how to look like, or how to build a strategy to eventually look like them. And I think that a lot of smaller brands make the mistake of going straight in with a huge brand strategy, but they don't understand, like, bro, that brand has millions of dollars behind that strategy, thousands of people on the team, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like that's the biggest mistake I've seen out here.
That's true. Like, so small brands try and grow or try and market like the huge national brands, and it's like you have to, kind of lay the groundwork first, and then expand. Hopefully, when your time comes in that, cool. But
and it's also, again, just being really realistic, like, upon, like, the content, and also being realistic with your budget, because that's another thing. I mean, just being on the video side, I get pitched all these different crazy ideas, and then they hit me with a budget, and I'm like, like, what you just pitched me is something that I would need a full, like, 10, 15 person crew to pull this off. And then, but the budget you're giving me is, like, making it tough for even myself to
half a person.
Yeah,
For sure.
to want to do this. So, yeah, no, I can totally agree with, like, that aspect of, like, no, it's almost just like know where you are within your growth.
And be, like you said, be realistic. We all want to, like, we want to think of ourselves as way up here, but when we're realistic, that's when we really can get way up here.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what
exactly.
Yeah,
so it's taking the, laying the groundwork and letting your vision and goal come together.
Absolutely.
So where did you play overseas at?
I played Central America, and then I did this FIBA thing where I played basically tournaments.
Okay.
$700 a win, baby. I was never complaining about that. But it was the Central America thing was a stepping stone. I made money more each year, but I wasn't going to go back after a second year. And then the China thing kind of just came from playing, having good numbers, but I still play in a small country, so it was what it was.
Yeah. No, that's still cool though. Like, being able to travel, get all that experience, and then, like you said, you learn that, like, and it's probably around that time too was when you look at all like the California schools, like their high school.
Yeah.
It was insane to see the content coming out for those high school students.
Facts.
That I'm just like, yo, you guys are putting out almost better highlight tapes than these NBA stars are getting.
For sure.
Yeah.
And how you feel about that? I just coming from a basketball standpoint, I want to hear from you as a basketball person and you as a business person.
Cool.
How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like that is tainting basketball and the industry, or do you feel like it's enhancing basketball industry?
I mean, I think it's to me it's kind of both. So I think there's ways it's enhancing, like, the basketball community, and then there's ways that it's kind of like people are solely focused on their appearance online, and these, like, let's say, like, these 9-year-old AAU players are all worried about, like, creating this crazy highlight tape and doing this, like, ankle breaker, when you're like, dude, just cross over and go to the hole. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we're getting high quality content, and we're you're getting, kids and athletes are making, decent money off of social media and marketing now, but like, let's just play basketball.
Let's play basketball. Let's hoop.
Yeah, let's play.
Come on.
I mean, from my side, I like watching it.
I forget it's different from your side.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, I could understand it. Like I can put it in perspective of like camera guys. I mean, you'll have the camera guys that they'll take just a general like A7S body and completely just throw the craziest rig on it, like extra monitors, everything. Where it's like, yeah, you didn't really need that for that shoot. I mean, I've fallen into that before, where. Like, I mean, even one of our cameras right now is really rigged up, but it has a purpose when it's needed.
Right.
I mean, it's just like those flashy tricks. Like, shit, if you guys are above, I mean, if you're winning by a good time and you can mess around and have some fun, I think go for it. Try to get a flashy clip, but make sure you get the win
Make sure you get the win.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, the win. And going back to the ICANN Classic thing. So, again, the ICANN Classic is actually just the first high school NIL tournament where young ladies can make $10,000 winning.
Okay.
Winning. We literally made a slogan that was to make winning great again, because that's what the tournament was about. Like, well, yes, we care about sportsmanship and things of that nature. That's inevitable. That's a given. We're talking about let's get back to wins mattering. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the crossover is what the kids want.
Yeah.
That tournament, we nipped that in the bud.
Yeah.
Even the coaches was locked in, the parents, everybody was locked in because they know it's about winning. I got to win to get this $10,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, no, I think I'm the first one to say like flashy basketball, is fun. Like
I was saying, like that was the whole point of the Globetrotters,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. But when I played college and JUCO and stuff, it's like I'm gonna take off. But yeah, we didn't have like NIL stuff. We didn't have, you didn't really have to market yourself now, or now then you do now, and that puts me to another point. Like I feel like basketball players, athletes are some of the best marketers and branders because that's what we've had to do like our whole life. You have to sell yourself every day to coaches, teammates, players, really anything. You gotta sell yourself, and like you said, to make money on other ends besides the court, you gotta market yourself and brand yourself, and that gives you a good avenue to know how to do that for others too. So
that's very true. Very true. I think it's a good correlation too. I feel like that correlates very well over into the business world, but sometimes it brings on anxiety because we're so used to getting clapped for. It's like, bro, ain't nobody clapping for you for going to the water cooler in your break and get some water. Answering the email. So it's a gift and a curse. You just have to change that mindset and use that as a vehicle.
Yeah.
So my thing is just like get the clips.
Just get the clips,
bro.
Well, because if like obviously. Again, like we said, get the win. But also, if you're trying to brand yourself and everything like that, I think of it as, again, video terms. If I was just to get a client or to get a job done for a client, that's cool. Like that's me getting the win. But I need to get the behind the scenes of me shooting. I need to like go over the top with the editing. Like that's me getting my clips.
Yeah.
So
which is needed.
I mean, obviously, it's like you don't want to try to go for like a windmill dunk or something, and then you miss, and that's a game-winning point. Like that, or you don't want to try to shoot a crazy three when like I don't know basketball like that, but it's like I can understand like there's a time and a place to try to get your clips.
But my thing is, we got these like little young kids trying to do all these crazy moves when it's like. Dude,
learn the fundamentals.
Learn the fundamentals.
Like y'all can't even shoot a three, but yet you're shooting half court shots.
That's why.
But are they making them?
No,
they're not making them. They're not making them. And it's like brick, didn't make, and then they're celebrating. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
It's like think about like Dude Perfect. I think Dude Perfect. You know how many clips they take to be perfect?
Hey, but they say it's first try.
Yeah, they say it's first try every time. But you know they took a million takes. So it's just like that's how I feel about those highlights.
My behind the back shots always first try too.
Well.
No.
No. Hey, I believed you. Hey, I believe everybody.
1 to 5. 1 to 5.
1 to 5. Okay, I feel it.
I mean, you put the reps in.
Yeah.
I mean, how many different games did you play?
Oh.
Exactly.
God.
Yeah.
300.
And different styles too.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. You had your structure, and then you had your, let's have fun with this.
Yeah. A lot of basketball.
So, what is your favorite platform? Like whether it's LinkedIn, TikTok, what's your favorite platform to push on?
Oh, honestly, YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
And so, like, for me, I know you're going to see my brand. My brand specifically, we're winning on Facebook. But other than that, we don't have a specific following on YouTube, Instagram, etc. that's because I've been so focused on YouTube. Like I
Okay.
want to perfect YouTube. I want to figure out how to perfect YouTube.
Mm.
So yeah, YouTube is really my favorite platform, and the reason why I say that is because it's almost comparable to generational wealth. You get monetized on YouTube, that money's forever, and then when you die, you can give it to your kids.
That's true.
So that's how.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I would say that YouTube is my favorite one these days.
I never even really thought about it like that. You kind of always see like, I would call it like the instantaneous thing. Like maybe you can go viral easy on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, you can go viral with like a short clip, but in order to build a brand, I mean, it's going to get built, and it takes a little longer, but it lasts a lot longer too.
But yeah, it lasts so long.
Yeah.
And like I built a strategy. I helped one of my clients to get about 22,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Dang.
And I've realized again, it goes with the name. It's like you can, and I'm kind of getting off subject with that, but it's like you can do all this stuff, but you still got to keep putting the work in. And that's what he does. So going back to the strategy wise, it's like take a long form video, and you know this, you've probably been doing this for years. Take a long form video, chop it up into small videos, captioning it out, basically what y'all do for your podcast. That works for any content.
Yeah.
That's what
Exactly.
people don't understand.
Exactly.
From music videos to sports videos to business videos. It works because you're putting out the video, you're campaigning and advertising with the smaller videos, and then you can dang near put the video out again after you get done campaigning those to show like, yo, this video is still out. So it's like a whole campaign within one video.
Exactly. That's like, again, like you said with
Yeah.
this podcast, that's one thing I've noticed too is at first the shorts weren't hitting. I mean, we'd get 10, 15, 20 views. But then, I mean, probably about the second week of being consistent of uploading like 2 to 4 shorts a day, we were averaging 400 views a short. And then sometimes it would spike up to 1,000, 2,000. We haven't had nothing major crack there on YouTube, but it's the fact that, cool, I can upload 3 videos a day, and that's getting 1,500 views.
That's good. Yeah.
And just staying consistent with that, because then on the back end, it's showing like, cool, like our overall channel views is growing. I think we just crossed 10,000
That's what's
just for the overall.
Yeah,
And that's where, the whole cutting long form content down is tenfold like what I always recommend to our clients.
definitely.
And that's something I'm just learning more about, because I'm so like short form just for my personal brand content. It's just like quick videos, but learning kind of like the long form side, and that's kind of where you can succeed in YouTube is long form and with some short form. So that's very interesting.
Yeah. And then if you have like insurance agents or real estate agents, stuff like that, to where it makes sense to do long form, because there is some businesses where it doesn't really make sense to do long form stuff.
That's true.
Like with real estate agents, I mean, you could do a 10-minute video on tips and tricks on buying your first home. And then you can give them 8 to 10 bullet points, have them hit all those within that video, and then you can chop each one of those bullet points into a short form content.
Very true.
And that's where, like, I've been trying to explain to a lot of these real estate agents I've been working with here lately is like, we can try to go for these short form videos, but let's keep it horizontal. Let's just kind of go back to what feels natural, because then we can use that video on your website. We can use it on Instagram. We can do it everywhere. But then when we take those shorts out of it, those will be your vertical posts on Instagram, so you can kind of stay relevant with those times.
Very true.
So what do you like more? Do you shoot like content more? You said YouTube, vertical or horizontal. What's your go-to on that?
Man, of course it has to be the portrait, the 916, but I wish I can do vertical.
Yeah.
I try to, like lately with carousels, I've been trying to get back to vertical because it just makes more sense on the
Yeah.
carousels. Swipe, you can have a video on that screen explaining something, right? So I will always be a vertical fan. I have been seeing, I don't know if you've done this, I mean, you might have done it, but there's some like very cinematic shooters, and they'll just vertical it, but they'll just put it sideways.
Yes,
so the
yes,
video
yes.
sideways, it's sexy. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So I'm going to try it out.
Yeah, it's cool. I've done a couple videos. Like I did a drone video last week where I did that mainly because I didn't shoot that video vertically on the drone. But it's, I don't know, I'm 50-50 on stuff like that, because I say this only because TikTok, if you upload a horizontal video to TikTok, if somebody's app is a little bit more updated, you can press like view full screen and it will turn it in platform for you.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of like waiting on the day Instagram decides to do that.
If they do.
Yeah.
And because at that point, I don't know. I love shooting horizontal. I was so big on the vertical. And then one of the new clients that I've been working with, they were just like, no, let's not do vertical.
Yeah.
Let's just strictly do horizontal and then make polls from it. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. But now we're a handful of projects in, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm back. Well, because I do a lot of weddings, and all the weddings are horizontal, and they're ultra cinematic, and it's fun. I love shooting those. And then I go to shoot a reel and vertically, and I'm like, this doesn't look good. Like, why doesn't this look good? I just shot with the camera yesterday, did a wedding, it looked amazing. Now we're vertical.
Yeah,
so
I feel that. And well, how do you feel about the because on the new drones, it's like the old drones you only can shoot.
Yes.
So on new drones they have that setting. Do you feel as though it's like, how do you shoot on the drone specifically?
I do both.
You do both now? Okay.
We just did a video today. We dropped it on the 17th Apartments one.
Okay.
And it was actually, that day that I saw you out there, we were shooting video for the pool.
For the pool, yeah.
And I did horizontal so they could throw it on the website, but also I switched it to vertical so we could use it on reels. Because I make it so easy. It's just literally a button on the back of the controller you press and it turns it, and he's got to get the shot twice. Yeah. Obviously, if there's like specific things that you're going for, like you're following a car or whatever, and it makes sense to just shoot it once, then I would stay horizontal. But if you can shoot as many different times, I'd definitely go vertical. That's how like a lot of the wedding clips that I've been getting lately is like I'll get the horizontal for the actual wedding film, and then for my personal self, so I can post it on Instagram, I'll just shoot a vertical and do it that way.
That makes sense.
So definitely suggest getting a drone that can shoot vertically.
Definitely.
So I'm curious, when you have your clients, take me through like the process you have with them and like what the services you provide for them are.
Yeah, for sure. So when people reach out to us, first of all, we have to make sure they're in our target market. We have a very specific target market. I would say that when it comes down to it, man, our target market, how can I put it? I look for people who have been killing the game for 10, 15 years who have no marketing. Like that's who I specifically look for, especially when it comes to personal branding. It's like, bro, you've been killing it. You don't need this marketing, but when I do this, this, and this for you, you know what I'm saying, you're going to kill the game. But just a regular client, we'll start with a vision call. We see what the vision is. We see what you need to, what you're trying to execute. And then we partner that with gaps. It's like we look inside your business and we see what gaps you have in your business and marketing. So we take your vision and the gaps that we see, we put them together, we make a plan. Now within that plan, it is based off the vision and then it is based off the gaps. So it could be, you come to me as a real estate agent. You might need a funnel, you might need videos, you might need a photographer. Well, we'll make a specific package with those things, and that doesn't have any other. It won't have social media, it won't have anything else because that's what you asked for. So what we try to do is tailor our packages towards the brand and their vision and the gaps that they're missing. Because most people's gaps are what? They're not making enough money. So what we do and come in with, we're going to make you more money.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
So having a team built out and everything, you've probably already have tried every part within the business, whether it's the social media marketing, the filming, etc. What's your least favorite part about like running a business's content side?
Man, I don't think there's a least favorite part.
No?
I think it's more just the balance of being a businessman and creating content. Like that kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And I will say that's why I love. Like when I met you, bro, I was like, he is that. Like to me, you're one of the best in the world because it's like,
you.
Bro, all these videographers, all they want to do is shoot. Like shoot. And I'm like, bro, there's business behind this. There's strategy. There's things that you have to do to. If you want to shoot, want to shoot forever. Like there's things you have to do.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
So I think I don't think there's really a part that I hate. I just didn't like having to balance both, and I feel like with having a team or even having you in the network, it's just like, bro, I don't have to do all that no more. I don't got to shoot no more.
Yeah, I would say because mine it would be like managing social media accounts, or I guess that's mainly the biggest thing, like making the posts for the people.
I feel that.
Like that's kind of where I was at with it. Is like
having to post it, making it, creating it, cool, but posting it.
But like having a couple different accounts is all right. But then when like I started onboarding new clients, and I mean you could probably feel that where it's like, okay, now how can I hand this part off? Because now it's like, well, once you have 3-4 accounts that you're having to stick on a schedule with, it kind of gets a lot. So And then what your favorite side would be is like coming up with a strategy.
I would say come up with strategy or
Okay.
actually creative direction. Is
Ooh,
definitely
okay,
up there, you
okay.
know? Like I got to a point. I'm doing a media day in Boston. I'm leaving after this actually, but I used to just go up there and just do the whole media day. Maybe bring one extra shooter, but now I'm to that point where I have enough shooters to where it's like I literally have all the shots out. You know, I have the shots I want from headshots. I have the media day shots I want, and then of course I have like, hey, I want Instagram lives as well for this media day. So I think with the team, it has helped all that and has made it much easier. But yeah, the creative direction side is very fun. I could do that all night.
Yeah. What was your first like expansion? Like where did you who did you hire first essentially? Like a shooter?
It was a shooter. It was an extra shooter. At first, no, it was social. It was a virtual assistant.
Oh, okay,
was a
okay.
virtual
Talk on that.
assistant.
Yep.
Man, I'll put it like this: if y'all ever hire a virtual assistant or in-person assistant, executive assistant, the number one thing you need to know is what you need. Because I didn't know what I needed. I was like, everybody's saying I need to hire all these people, etc. I didn't know what I needed, so I dropped the ball on my first 2 VAs. Like, if y'all watching this, I'm sorry, but I learned that if you're going to hire people, they need to be like 90% of yourself.
100%.
So what I did was I made an SOP library from like it might sound stupid, but from literally logging in, from open the app, type it in. Like I've literally made myself on paper. So whoever I hire from now on, they have no excuse for
Exactly.
You know?
That's the
Yeah.
way to go. Like, because I mean, I feel you. Same type of way. I tried to hire off an editor way before I needed it. A buddy of mine was like, "Oh, you just need an editor. Like, you can crank out more projects." But then I tried, and I was like, "Oh, I did not." I just sent them the footage, and then they sent me something back, and I was like, "Oh, you did not look at my style." Okay, let's revise this. Sent them the SOP on like how I edit. Here's my color grades, everything like that, and made it a little bit better. But even then, it got to a point where I was shooting less for higher budgets, so I could edit the projects myself.
Right.
And like I lost that whole like I hired when it didn't hurt, and so now I'm like, do I keep this person on? Like I'm paying them, but I'm not using them. So that's one thing I would always tell people is hire when it hurts, and then let stuff go.
Yeah, very true. Delegation and duplication is the only way to greatness, in my personal opinion.
Amen.
That's a word. For real.
So, here's a good one. What is one social media myth that you would like to debunk for a small business
Yeah.
owner?
Yeah.
That you need $1 million to make or 1 million followers to make $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, this is random, bro, but I was on an Explore page.
Yeah.
I pitched this random lady because she had a dope picture with Shaq. I started going through her stuff. Bro, this lady has like 1,200 followers, bro. She's Shaq's right-hand woman.
Oh.
So you know that she's making bang bread, killing the game with him all the time. But she has 1,200 followers, and she's maybe following like 4,000 people.
Yeah.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So just the biggest myth is you don't need 1 million followers to make $1 million.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, everyone thinks you have to have like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 1 million followers to be profitable, you know, whether it's online or, you know, with your business. You just got to be consistent, have good stuff.
You gotta be the expert. You have to
Yeah.
be an industry leader. I'm not gonna say an expert because a lot of these fools out here aren't experts.
Yeah.
The
but they
guru
position-
theory.
The guru.
The-
Hey, we
Oh.
talked on that one. Yeah. the
The
gurus.
gurus.
There's a lot of gurus out here, but I will say, okay, I have a real estate client. He
Yeah.
has 1,200 followers, but he was invited to one of the top business or real estate podcasters in the world. And I like to talk to him about the fake gurus because you can see that his following is way smaller than any guru, but he has the knowledge.
Yeah.
And he says one of the biggest things that's missed is the gurus, they're telling you the right stuff at all times. They're telling you the right stuff. They're just not giving you the steps, the blood, sweat, and tears, the negative side of what they're telling you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he uses that for his program. He actually says, yo, we're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we're also going to walk you through these things. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the biggest thing about the gurus is like, I love their charisma.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're
if you can be charismatic, you can pitch anything. But yeah, then there's those times where, they're just, it seems like they're only showing you the good things happening. And it's one thing that I kind of started like noticing with all the gurus is it's all the same thing. It's like they all just recycle each other's content all the way through.
Yes.
And then when you start looking into their courses, even more
it
so.
probably is.
Yeah, well,
all
yeah, because
recycled
that's
the
one
same
thing I've
thing.
noticed is like, because you have your gurus, but then you have so you have your gurus that teach real estate, but then they're learning from the gurus that are teaching gurus. And that's the big thing right now is I've done a couple of calls where like I looked at certain guys to be like mentors in a way. And during the calls, like I'm expressing to them like, hey, I want to like grow my media company. And they're like, why don't you become a coach? Like that's where the money is. And I'm talking to them and they're like, well, I made $30,000 this month off of my media company. And I'm just like, okay, but you're pitching me a $5,000 course right now.
Yeah, you're not helping me grow my company.
Like, what
helping
is
me be you?
Yeah, you're not hitting my pain points.
Well, and like, what's the $5,000? Like, what's your $30,000 made up of? Is it like 5 of these courses sold and then like a $5,000 project? Like, where's this breakdown? Because if you're pitching me, I'm going to help you grow your media company, but yet 90% of your income is from like coaching people right now. It's I didn't feel really good about that.
It don't always add up.
Yeah,
you know? I think so. So we talked about this maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So what I started doing was things that I felt like I needed. Like if I seen that funnel of it, I would go in there and try to take the call. So what I realized in those situations, bro, are that these coaches, they're funneled in from agencies, like kind of like us. They're funneled in. And then they're made into these coaches. Okay, when they bring other people in, they need to hit a quota of blah, 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 but they always try to upsell it. Yeah. So I remember agency, I don't want to say the name, but there's this place, they try to upsell me $12K. Don't get me wrong, I will say, no, we can't say the name. I will say Agency U is fire. They have everything that you need. I rock with it, but they was trying to upsell me to $12K. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, but I would love to take more calls with you. So what did I do in those calls? I asked for the Zoom recordings. On top of that, I joined their school account. So everything that they're trying to teach me and add to my business, they literally giving it for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and then they'll give you the 1 month pass. Oh, you give me that 1 month pass, dude. I'm in there. I'm downloading all of your PDFs. I am going through and just checking everything out.
That's pure facts. Don't do that. Like as a businessman, you should be smart enough to not. I'm not going to do that unless it's time to get free game. I'm not going to do that. But and then those situations when you really think about it, it's like, oh, okay, they're not CEO mindsets. They're employees themselves trying to funnel us in to be employees, and I'm not with none of that, you know?
Well, and there's certain days of it where it's like, I would have joined your course. Like, there's a handful of guys that, like, I would have really been down to join their course. Like, the guy themselves I rocked with, but it was their call center that ruined it for me.
I feel that.
So when I'm in, like, on that, like, that first call where you're not even talking to the, like, John Doe, like, the head person of it, you're talking to just some random person that they hired to do sales calls.
That's making $15 an hour.
Yeah,
someone who doesn't even
I'm
know
sitting
what they're
there
doing.
talking to them, and one of them that just rubbed me the wrong way. They were just like, at the end of it, they told me it was like, I think it was like $5,000, and it was either $5,000 up front or I could do half that day and then half like a month later. But then I was like, I mean, what if we broke it into like 4 payments? I'll do that today. And they're like, oh, so you don't want to invest in yourself. Like, you don't want to.
They get offended real quick.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they just kept pushing. You don't want to invest in yourself. And I'm just like, nah, dude, I'm trying to tell you right now, I will give you like, was it $1,200 right now? And then we can break it up into other payments because I am interested in your course.
Right.
But I'm not going to.
And
so that recording got sent off because I knew a buddy of mine knew the head guy personally, and so I told him about that call. I was like, "Yo, his call center ruined it for me. I don't want to be a part of this." And my buddy actually messaged him and told him about that. He went through, watched the recording, and was like, "Wow." Like, they were really forceful on it. Like, I'm sorry. If you're still interested, we can do that, like the $1,250, and we can break it into 4 months. I was like, no, I'm good.
I'd say for free.
Yeah, because
for free.
That was a free thing right there.
Yeah, after that, I was like, I'm out. Like, there's no, like, and that's another thing, too, like, back on, like, hiring people out, is make sure that they're, like, you're watching their calls everything like that, because if they're losing you clients, because I'm like, how many people outside of me did they just do that to?
Right.
That's true.
Right.
That you would have never known about because you had a homie that was linked. So that could have happened so many times they would have never known.
Yeah.
And so you helped him out.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's what.
But yeah, that's what he told me. He's like, I got rid of her. I'm like, I don't care. Like, that bridge is already burned.
Burned, yeah.
Like,
first impressions, man. First impressions in business is everything. And it's so cliche. We hear it all the times. But even to a point of like being articulate, not having typos in your email. Like, like first impressions are everything. From even okay, we'll put it like this: I like to be with clients. I like to be 30 minutes early. Again, if you're not early, you're late.
100%.
All these, I'll put it like this: all cliche sayings in life, they all
Are,
work. They
yeah,
all
they're-
work.
There's a reason they're said a lot is because they work. But
Right.
people call them a cliche, but it's like, no, it's just said a lot because it works.
Exactly.
It's the point.
If it ain't broke, do not fix it.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And we're so worried about enhancing things as humans that we don't always focus on, like, bro, this been working.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing, like on the lines of that, like we're given the blueprint that works so many times, whether it's through books, people, or anything. Like just continue to use that plan because a lot of people have made a lot of money doing, you know, X, Y, and Z. So just look at what other people are doing.
Speaking of books, what's your favorite book right now?
Yeah.
Oh, essentialism.
Ooh,
Ooh.
I ain't read that one.
I
yet.
haven't either.
I didn't check
Essentialism.
that.
But number 2 got to be the start with why. So first book, movie, anything that I've like watched or read over and over again. I can't even watch movies in the
Yeah.
same year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I read Start with Why so many times.
Both those I need to check out. I'll highly recommend. I've preached it many of
I already
times.
know what you're going to say.
Many of times. But the Day Trading Attention by
Gary
Gary V.
Gary V.
Dude, there-
Text it to me.
bro. So there's a free. So if you got Spotify Premium, it's free.
Okay.
Because they started giving out audiobooks. It's free on Spotify. I've already listened to it twice on there, but I've noticed like I started listening to it twice because I was driving the first time for the most part, and so I started catching new things the second time, and then I was like, okay, there's probably stuff that I even missed the second time, so I bought the book, and now I'm reading the book as listening to the audio book, and it is, dude. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Please send it to me.
That,
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
checking
because
it
he
out.
breaks down everything. Like one of my favorite things that he talks about is how we talked about it. You can have one major commercial that you spent $5,000 on. As a small business, that's a lot. But most people think that's what I need to blow up. Like that's what I need to get my message out there. Let me spend $5,000 on this one. And then they don't make any other content outside of that. Nothing. It's just that one. He's like, take that $5,000 and make 50 videos.
Yep.
Like pay someone to make you 50 videos. And you'll see a lot more reach with that because he's like, don't just make 50 random. Say you're an athletic company. Cool. Make one with a specific model that is a specific niche. Like say it's a Latino mom. You just boom. You get someone that looks like her, put her in there. And then you just go on and you just grab different demographics of people and you make a video with each one of those people so it hits home harder.
He's a genius.
Dude,
Genius. I always thought, like, I don't care how much people hate on him, he's still going to be a
No,
genius.
Oh,
dude,
yeah. That
that-
dude.
Yeah, because I mean he does talk fast. He talks a lot, and it is a lot for people to like comprehend some days.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, he's built an empire for a reason. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw his like VCon that he has.
Yeah.
Dude,
That stuff is crazy.
right now it's like the only way to get a ticket is you have to buy his NFT. And
So
if
smart.
bro, if you were an NFT holder back then, you
Oh,
can
you're-
sell your NFT for however much you want, so somebody else can have the ticket to get in there. So
Swear
there's
to
people,
God.
yeah, bro.
I would have banked on that one.
Yeah,
That
there's
was-
so many people that bought up like 10, 15 of those NFTs, and now they're holding 15 tickets to this.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it is
It was
insane.
impressive.
okay. That's a great. See, he's a genius. So this is how I think about Gary Vee and Grant Cardone. They don't
Yeah.
teach what they teach. They teach omnipresence.
Mm.
Like their whole teaching is omnipresence, how to always be seen and never not be seen. And I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. There's so many. I will say, I don't think one strategy works for everybody, but if you want to give one general cliche strategy that works for everything, omnipresence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can never go wrong with being seen at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's like even Grant Cardone. A lot of people might not know him. They might have known the name a little bit, but it's like you play a video of a very strong, passionate man talking. It's more than likely Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
Like it's like if I just give you that description, you've probably seen a video, and it's Grant Cardone.
Yeah, for sure.
Him, Gary Vee, Alex Hormozy, all those
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Because
Good
Alex
one.
Hormozy's new book is very good as well. What is it, like $1 million sales, something like that?
Okay.
Yes.
$1 million leads.
That, yeah.
That
leads.
one.
I've actually heard of that.
Yes. So he has 2 books. Definitely have to read them in order, but those 2 are amazing as well.
Another good one is, and this is mostly for your music artists who are listening to this, bro. Read the Russ book. And I specifically
Yeah.
say the music artists because he teaches them how to turn a single into a whole marketing campaign. He
Yeah.
said the reason why he blew up is because 2 things. Number one, when he had $300 in his pocket, he told himself he was a millionaire.
Yep.
He basically said you got to be delusional to be great.
Yeah.
And then number 2, he said that he takes every album and he markets it, or I'm sorry, every single, and he markets it like an album.
Yeah.
From the album art to the videos to et cetera, et cetera. And we've seen, and Gary Vee mentored Russ. Like,
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, he mentored Russ.
I love
Hey.
I love both of them separately. So I mean, I can see the correlation there. Like you can see a lot of the stuff he does. Gary preaches. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, that you could tell he took it to heart
Oh
too. Like,
yeah, that
That's it.
dude.
Like, all aside, like, I mean, Russ, he's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I love his strategy. Russ is a person, I mean, he just said some out of pocket stuff where I was just like, okay, dude, shut up. But I mean, you can't deny his greatness though.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with
Dude's
it. Is
different.
like, I mean, it was like the first year he dropped a song and a good music video every week.
Yeah,
Or did he
He
do a
would-
single every day?
it was.
I think
He's
it
still
was every
pretty
week.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I
like
think it's
every
every
week.
week,
But still, like, consistently 52.
like dropping.
And obviously, it's inspired a lot of artists since then. And like his drive and everything is great. But yeah, no, it's really cool seeing like how he takes like the Gary Vee concepts and runs with them.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love when the industries cross over for the benefit of it. You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
the rap and basketball. You know,
Oh,
you remember
yeah.
when that crossed over, that was stupid.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like most industry crossovers.
Yeah,
you know?
no, it
When all
definitely.
the basketball guys trying to be rappers now.
that was
Well,
so
let's talk about football guys now.
Oh,
Really?
was it?
Kelsey Plum's ex-husband? What's his name? He just retired.
That's her ex-husband now?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
say Antonio Brown. I know
Oh,
he
yeah.
he tried to make some
yeah.
music too, but
I mean, love it if you have passion for something, but
there's been
It's just
a-
another. My thing about athletes going to music is like, oh, I can't get clapped for putting the ball in the rim, so I'm gonna try to get clapped for making music.
yeah,
You don't need
unless
to be
you're
clapped for all the
unless
time.
you're like Damian Lillard who can actually
He's like that.
like his albums like he's really like that. so.
Damian Lillard and I gotta say Iman Shumpert, like
Oh, I
two
don't
great
think-
artists.
Oh, I'll need to look him up. I don't think I've ever heard his stuff.
It's pretty decent.
I was
Maybe I
like-
have.
I had
I
a
don't know.
guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he played for the Houston Rockets. And he was doing music. A friend of mine he was an acquaintance of him. So I started doing his cover arts without really like hearing the song too much. Like he would just send me a picture and the title. And like I started posting them. Like, oh, hey, I'm working with this NBA player. Like, hey, it's cool. And then I listened to one of the songs one day and I was like,
Delete.
Delete archive.
yeah, I was just like, okay, dude, like, But yeah, it was definitely like one of those times where I was just like, maybe I shouldn't have posted.
Maybe not.
Like it's cool.
Hey, but it's learning. You have to learn.
Yeah,
the business.
learning
You gotta
experience.
listen to the
yeah.
music before you
Post
start
about it.
promoting.
Yeah, promote it.
Yeah, and I have a bad problem with that because, like I said, like Facebook is mine, and I feel like I've grown so much on there. Hit 200K yesterday, but
Ooh.
Nice.
I think I grew so much on there because I'm so authentic, and I don't water myself down. And I don't feel like I water myself down on Instagram, but since I have funnels and things of that nature, my target market customer, I want them to see a specific thing. So everything is linked to my business Facebook, and then of course my personal Facebook. I don't feel like I'm that authentic on those platforms, but the ones, I'm sorry, authentic as in unfiltered.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely authentic, but just I'm very more filtered than Facebook.
Well, and you gotta have short form content. That's the issue is like, I mean, we're all just kind of like longer form speakers, I should say. Obviously, like you try to train yourself to be
Yeah.
like very short form. When we first started the podcast, the first handful of episodes, I was just like, oh, like I just realized how trained I am to go for a minute. And then we're sitting down for these podcasts and they're like an hour long, and I'm just like, oh, like okay, like let's just revert back to how it was and just be more like authentic, like you said, with it. So another question that I had here was, what's your advice for small businesses trying to build a strong social media presence on a limited budget?
Honestly, go back to being. I'm sorry, goes back to being realistic. First of all, you gotta look at that budget.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people will take that, but say small business. So when I was very, very small, I would say a $500 budget, right? So look at that budget. Like, how is this budget going to serve me for acquisitions? How is it going to serve me for marketing? And how is it going to serve me for content? So like you said, going back to the Gary Vee example, it's like you could take that 500 and hire this, social media team that can make all your content, et cetera, et cetera. Or you could take that 500, hire a VA, And then that VA can be your acquisitions person. You can handle business, and then you can handle the content creation, things of that nature, right? So I think that going back to the question, the biggest thing about small businesses, they need to use what they have instead of focusing on what they don't have. And that's what we do all the time.
Yeah.
Small business wise, we always focus on what we don't have. We get that anxiety, then we don't do what we're supposed to do. So that's probably the biggest advice right there.
No, that's awesome. Because that's another thing too. It's like, as you said, you can hire off of this big team, say it's $500 to get the whole team, but then you don't have money to market.
Yeah.
And so leading in with that too, what's your preferred way of shooting? Do you like phone content or camera content?
Camera content.
Camera content?
I like camera content much more.
The first time I think we've gotten that.
I like camera content much more, but it's just because I started with phone, you know.
Yeah.
DJI Osmo, I was the Osmo king for a long time. But of course, I like the quality, man. I like the quality. You can't get even with all the good video apps, you can't get the good blur background like you really want it on the phone.
Yeah.
So I got to say camera.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm the same way. I'm very 50-50 split. It's weird because to me, it obviously depends on what we're shooting. Like if we're doing a quick day in the life and it's supposed to feel like a Snapchat story, I'm not shooting that on a camera. Like it's just too hard to do all that when I could just hand you my phone and be like, hey, go record like this rather than making it on a camera. But that's another thing I try to stray away from is the fake blur aspect on phones. Yeah. Because I have a couple buddies that they just preach their phone cameras. Like they own nice cameras, but they preach their phone cameras like, oh man, this one was better than our cameras. I'm like, no. Like the fake blur, it's getting there.
It's getting there.
Fake blur.
But when it first came out and they tried to preach that,
super big.
You could see the lines around the
line,
people.
like it's all. It looked terrible at first.
Yeah, but it was cinematic.
in their eyes.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the thing, we've been putting out those videos about how to use the iPhone, but that's for the small business.
Yeah.
I want people to understand the phone, you can use it until you can't no more.
Yeah.
So, cameras might be my favorite now, but that's your fault. Because I've known you for 6 months now, and all I do is ingest your content. So it's like, bro, I'm not about to. That's just your fault.
Hey, I did make a video where I did say my phone was one of my favorite pieces of gear.
You said one of them.
One of them.
It was the last one.
It was the very last one.
Yeah. No, there's a time and a place. It's just like everything. I mean, like we were talking at the top of this episode, like the flashy tricks. I mean, there's a time and place for it.
Time and place for it, yeah. So you said you just reached 200K?
20K.
20K.
20K, yeah.
Well, 20K, whatever. That's still a lot. So having that many followers comes probably with a lot of comments on your content, right? Mm-hmm. How do you deal with the negative stuff? Like we've been asking a lot of our people who come on the podcast that everyone gets negative comments. So how do you kind of deal with that, and how do you deal with also the positive ones too?
I think when it comes down to the negative ones, you kind of have to understand why they're being negative. So I'm weird with that. I'm never going to be unprofessional, but I'm going to dig in deep. Bro, why are you why? Because what I've noticed is there's people will start going to bat for you. People don't even know you. They rocking with your brand. And one guy, he said one time people were under a picture asking some questions. He was like, listen, how are y'all questioning this man's motivation? Because I was just putting out principles of things I've learned, non-negotiables, things people shouldn't do. This is what I did to grow. People wanted to argue about it. And my man's gotten under there and said, why are you arguing with his motivation? Right? So I think the way I really deal with it is I use my discernment. Sometimes it's something that it just needs a like. You know? If it's negative, like it.
Yeah, I get it.
But sometimes it deserves an answer. And that answer needs to be educated, and it needs to make the person feel like they should never comment that negative again.
He's got to backhand them a little bit.
Strong.
Digitally backhand. And kind of go from there.
How do you measure the success of a social media campaign? Which metrics are the most important to you?
How much money they made off of it. I don't care about the views. I don't care about the likes. I don't care about the impressions, the reach. Those are good vanity metrics.
100%.
How much money scratch the money. If it's a real estate person who's having a webinar about how to wholesale, how many people got to the link? How many people signed up? How many people came? So I like to measure off of what you're really there for. The marketing is cool, but marketing is just communicating the branding story, and that's what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say one thing that I've seen, even just off of, is say you're not really pushing for a goal on the, like you're not trying to go for the link. Like say it's more of a like an awareness type of ad. The likes are cool, comments are cool, but one thing I've been noticing a lot is like the bookmarks and the saves.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's a
aim
big one.
for
Yeah.
that.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Like, cause I mean,
And sends too.
yes, that too. Especially on TikTok now,
Yeah.
how you can really see the sins on it. Like you can on Instagram a little bit, but definitely that's one metric that I've been really focused in on because a lot of the times the likes were cool, but I've caught myself just getting that like the inevitable scroll.
Or
of
never
just
liking
stuff.
anything.
Liking
Or
anything.
liking
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
or never liking anything.
Yeah.
And you're just scrolling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
But
loop.
it takes a lot for me to click that bookmark button.
That's true. You
Like-
gotta really like it.
Yeah, there's a handful of
really wanna
stuff
save
where
it.
I'm just like, I'll like it, and then I can go back to my likes and check it later on. But if I
know.
really, dude, use that bookmark thing.
I need to take that. Well, I need to, because for me, I give myself 30 minutes on social media every day. Like in the morning, 15 in the morning, and then 15 at night. And so I save. And like if I'm in the middle of the day, I'm on social media. Like if I
Yeah.
click it and there's something on my screen, I'm gonna click
Save
save
it,
it.
yeah.
So I can watch it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never get to really save stuff I really care for. But you're right though. Like
Yeah.
that is a great vanity, or that's a great metric. Not even a
Yeah.
vanity metric.
That's
Yeah.
how my YouTube is. My YouTube is full of like the watch laters because like I'll be going to show someone a different video, and then I see that and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. And so I click save for later, and then I never go and watch it. And so there's days where I'm like, oh, I need to go watch this, and I save for later, and that's where it's like doomful because it's
You're
just
just scrolling.
it's
through
just
everything.
a bunch of videos
bunch
that
of
I was
videos. That
you saved
really
for later.
interested in. I'm like, okay, now which one do I start with?
No, I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah. So speaking of, you said you 15 minutes, obviously in the morning and night. So that made me think of like daily routine. So for someone like you, what's like a day in the life daily routine that you have every day?
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I wake up at 3:30 every day.
Ooh,
My thing about it is this:
3:30 a.m.
3:30 a.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say p.m. I'm just kidding.
my alarm is set to go to sleep at 9:30. You know, it don't always get there. You know what I'm saying? I might go to sleep at between 9:30 and 12. But okay, so I wake up at 3. I have my time with God every morning. I gotta have my time with God before I touch anything else. You know, I have that little 15 minutes of social media. That's really where I check messages. You know, scroll a little bit on my 2 platforms that I scroll on, and then I go straight into work. So I generally start with client work. What do I need to get off the clients? I go through Notion. I'll be like, okay, what do I need to get off the list for each one of my clients? You know, in Notion, you can do a to-do list. So all of them probably have a little bit of something. We try to knock that out in the morning time. And then I go straight into operation. So I'm in a big season where I am kind of adjusting things on digitally and within the team. So right now, after I work with clients or do the client work, I'm going into structuring that. And then lastly, I go into the content creation of, so all this is before 8 a.m. Probably the last 2 hours are in our content creation. But I will say this, in those times, I only do 90-minute sprints. So I work for 90 minutes, I chill for 30. Work for 90, I chill for 30. And so those 90-minute sprints kind of get my brain to a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do at 8:30, around 8:30, 9, 10, between 8:30 and 10, I take a nap. And then when I get back up, I go to the gym. After the gym and things of that nature, I kind of get back into the work.
Yeah.
At that time, it's more building stuff that we don't have yet or worrying about things for 2025. Because that's kind of the point I'm at. Again, I'm structuring and building for the future now.
Yeah. That's very cool. So what made you decide to start getting up at 3:30 a.m.? Like, I know it seems like you have them like very productive in the morning, but like, what was the inspiration behind that? Because there's got to be something,
Dude,
right?
that's
Yeah, it
insane.
was
I thought the
freaking-
5 a.m. club was some crazy
Right.
people, but I have noticed there's been times where it's like you will shoot me like an early morning text. I'm like, oh, he's just up from the night before. I didn't know that you wake up
Oh,
at
no,
3:30.
yeah, I'm waking up then.
That's
I'm definitely
insane.
You do that on the weekends too?
See, that's why I had to stop. I had to stop doing it on the weekends. I do 5 a.m. on the weekends.
He sleeps in, guys. He sleeps in.
I sleep, but I only started that because I'm sure y'all ever heard of Eric Thomas before.
Yeah.
And Eric Thomas is actually one of my business associates' best friends. So I was
Oh.
going to the conferences. Eric Thomas is also a pastor. So I started going to his church digitally. And so I just ingested his content so much, bro, that it was like, okay, let me try this out. I'm not going to say it's for everybody. I don't suggest everybody listen to somebody and take their routine. But I will say I started it. It worked, and so I just started doing it more.
Yeah.
It made my days a bit more productive. But I will say I have to make sure, 4 or 5 days out the week I get 6-7 hours of sleep. So I do got to go to sleep a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's insane. I can do like the 6 a.m. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm like teetering right now is like wake up at 6, and then I get ready for the day. 7 o'clock, I'm reading, trying to figure out. Like I always try to read for about 30, 45 minutes a day. Right now, obviously, it's the Gary Vee book, and then jump into work there. But I mean, there's even days where it's like if I happen to wake up at 5 and it ends up being like at noon, and I'm like, oh wow, like I've gotten a lot done.
Those days feel so amazing.
Dude,
Yeah, it's so productive.
I couldn't imagine.
So
I mean, you said like most of like your workload's done by 8 a.m. That's wild.
awesome.
Like that, most people ain't waking up till 9.
No, for real. Yeah, like they're not. You're done pretty much. Not done, but you got a whole day done before people are waking up.
And that's how I feel. Like I know, and hearing y'all, it does sound crazy.
Well, it's not crazy.
Because you look at like Eric Fisher.
Yeah.
When he came in here and he gave his same type of question. He did a breakdown of his day, and he was talking about how he wakes up at 4:30 every day.
Yeah.
Man, you stepped him up by an hour.
Yeah, you got him there. But
that's awesome.
how do you how do you keep like a social life waking up that early and on the weekends, or what's like the split? I mean, like how do you keep that?
I can't say I have a social life specifically. Now, I will say this. I told myself, I'm 5 years in. I told myself I probably really won't have a social life till 7, 8, or the 7 to 10 year mark.
Yeah.
So I'm perfectly fine with it right now, but I did have to find the balance. Now, the balance, it's crazy. Like I have to use my calendar. Like even to a point of I want to go on a date with my lady, like, bro, I have to put it on the calendar. And I used to think that was so disrespectful.
Yeah.
No, but it's not.
Because you're actually going on a date instead of skipping it.
No,
Well,
exactly.
that was the first time I did that, because she can see my calendar if she wants. Like she can check in on it and see kind of what I have planned for the day. And the first time she noticed that, she was just like,
She's like, what,
you
me
really
in?
have to, you have to like, and now it's a running joke. She's like, if we plan on like, after this, we plan on going and grabbing some food tonight. She's like, did you put it on your calendar? And I'm like, my thing is, if it's an open time on the calendar, I'm booking it.
Yeah.
Like if
there is nothing in there, it's a bookable
exactly.
hour.
Oh, that's fact.
You know?
And there's times where it's like, I'll be, hey, yeah, we can go to dinner later tonight, get back to work. Somebody hits me for a last second shoot. I'm taking it. And then I forgot about the dinner. So it's like now I really am like adamant. And then same thing with like blocking out days.
Yeah.
Like there's certain days where it's like she wants to hang out more throughout the day, or we go into the zoo, something like that. I got to block that out.
The whole day.
Because if I'm very bad about just saying yes to just, all right, look, cool, let's go shoot.
Especially with this work.
Yeah.
I will say my lady got to a point that if that's the case, then that's cool. But other than that, no, that's dead. Same with family though. It's like I have to schedule family in.
Yeah.
Like I freaking miss because of the ICANN Classic, that NIL tournament, I missed my aunt's 90th birthday party. And it was like, dang, like I wish I could have scheduled this differently, but it was scheduled a year before. So it's just like, man, that calendar is basically how I keep that balance. But social life wise, I've been out. My first time going out was this week at Etc. at the little pop-up event.
Oh
in
yeah,
Wichita.
yeah.
So
I
that's
heard
my
about
first
that.
time ever going out here. And I was like, oh, this is the vibe I like.
I was about to pull up to that too.
You should have pulled up. We could have met.
I know. Shoot. I don't know what to say.
So where are you from? I mean, you said first time going out here. So where are you from?
Topeka.
Topeka?
I'm not going to say what I say after that.
Okay,
But we moved from Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
So Springfield is not a great place.
Yeah.
Sorry, Springfield, but Springfield is not a great place for somebody who's going the first 5 years of business. That's all. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, it's very, it's funny because like we got Springfield, Omaha, and Wichita. Like I travel a lot to those for weddings, and so I'm like they're very similar in a lot of different aspects. I mean, size wise, but it's like I'd put Springfield a little bit behind Wichita, and Wichita's a little bit behind like an Omaha, and it's just crazy to see like there's all in the Midwest, but seeing like the different like natures of them.
And it's crazy to say those three cities and then talk about Detroit being the Midwest. That's
no, you can't.
Yeah,
that's so weird to me.
Yeah, no, with people even like, because I mean, what Detroit is above. I mean, it's further than Chicago, right? Or is it right above Chicago? But then that's considering Chicago Midwest, and it's like to me, I almost consider Chicago East Coast.
Yeah,
because
I kind of agree with
the
that.
vibe.
Yeah, because it gives me like the New York like.
The big city vibes kind of thing.
It's like I almost consider that more East Coast.
Chicago. I lived in Chicago for one winter. When I was playing, my agent sent me there to train. bro, never again will I ever live in Chicago. and on top of that, when I go visit, I'm staying in Naperville because it's like right outside Chicago. Cause
Yeah.
it's a different place.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
But I'm more talking about the weather than anything.
No, the snow, the cold snow in Chicago.
It's just it's like those cartoons when you go outside and they sneeze and the icicles just like that's how Chicago really is, man. I promise.
Too cold.
Yeah,
cold.
I like the cold, but I can't do that.
I think it's cold here.
Yeah, I do too. I'm always. You see what I got? I'm always cold.
Yeah, it's cold in here. Just kidding.
It gets bone chilling.
There it goes. That's fair.
Like when it because I can deal with like cold, but when it's windy is when
The
it
wind.
like when it like that's the worst part about Kansas is our winters they get cold and windy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might be smacking you.
Yeah,
Real quick.
because I can deal with like cold. I mean, if I can bundle up, we're good. But there's
Yeah.
no bundling up against the wind.
No. Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
You hit in your face and you're just like, nah.
Yeah, unless you get that ski mask
It's like
game
you
on.
walk straight out and then you walk straight back in.
Yeah.
It's not it.
It is not worth going out there.
You can't even start your car early.
Literally.
Your car's still just cold 30 minutes later. You
Right.
went through half a tank of
You
gas.
get to your destination, your car's still cold. Like,
Yeah.
Like, should have just walked. No.
Yeah. So back on the family part, how does your family take like you being this busy and like having to miss certain things because of work?
At first it was very standoffish. It was like they didn't understand why I was always so busy. My mom specifically, she didn't understand how my brain was going all the time. Like I could be there with them, but it was like, okay, right when we're done, I got to get back to this work. You know what I'm saying? But I think over time, and this is with anything, I think over time when people see the work, the consistency, the fact that you're not going to ever stop this, then they're going to rock with you. You know, they got to get on the train because if they don't get on the train, then they're not going to get to their any destination with you. So they got to get on the train. You know,
And that's one thing. Like I think a lot of like smaller businesses or just entrepreneurs in general that is a tough thing to realize. Like, I mean, there's times where you do have to miss these family events. You do have to deal with the backlash from family, but it's either you're going to get it done, you got to make the sacrifice, or you're just not going to get the stuff done.
Yeah.
Because I had to deal with that, like, and I still deal with it to this day. I mean, there's been times where it's like I've gone 2-3 weeks without talking to my family just because it's like I've been so locked in trying to get this done, but part of my family understands. There's another half that they don't completely understand.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you don't like us no more. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like there's times where even my girlfriend, I don't talk to her.
Right.
It's just like I'm locked in trying to get this done. You might not hear from me for a couple hours or sometimes a full day if I'm like
Really
put my phone in the bag
yeah.
or I'm shooting. It's like I'm not really on my phone. So I think that's one thing that entrepreneurs need to like feel like it's almost okay. Like,
it's definitely okay. I think what you have to understand, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody's family or my family or anybody, but people don't deserve your time. Like you are the only person who deserves your time.
Yes.
Everybody else, they can get your time, but they don't deserve it.
Yes.
And I think as people, we're so intrigued with making other people's happy or, being yes men that we don't understand that we are the most important people in our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only way to grow is to understand that.
Yeah. No, that's super important because, if your family is going to understand that, they're going to, if they love you, they'll understand that. And if they see the passion you have for what you do and how and where you spend your time, they're going to love you and they're going to support you through that. And, they're the people who don't, I mean, they're just going to have to watch you from afar a little bit. So,
well, it's just learning too that like there's times where, family, I mean, no matter if blood or not, that it can go either way. Like with how close you are with people. I mean, I'm sure you kind of dealt with that. Being on the road with the Globetrotters, I mean, you're gone for months at times.
Yeah.
4 years straight was like barely home.
Yeah. So, but it also shows too, like who's really in your corner in times like that.
100%. Yeah.
So
Definitely does. And that's huge to know who's really in your corner. Because one thing about entrepreneurship, and I always tell people, especially small businesses, your hometown is not always going to be, mostly digital businesses. Your hometown is not going to be your target market all the time. And you have to really realize that nobody's going to be clapping for you all the time. Now, people are going to be happy that you started your business. That can even last 1, 2, 3 years. But if you're growing, you're continuously being consistent, that's going to fall off. Because there's this thing where people love to grow with you, but right when you get past them, they start hating in a sense. So number one, with that situation, you got to not worry about the hate. But also, you have to worry about keep growing.
Yeah.
If you don't keep growing, then you're not going to get to your goal.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
just don't let people drag you down like that.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Just don't let people drag you down. And I guess sometimes people even be positive or just good people, and we don't see that they're still not going the way we want to go.
Yeah.
We just say, oh, they're positive, they're taking care of business, but you have to go with people who are going the place you want to go.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why you see most successful people aren't from where they are currently.
Yeah.
Like, you move out your own hometown just because there is, and it might not be public hate. I mean, you just might not, for artists, let's just use them as an example. Like, they just might not be sharing your stuff anymore. And don't take that to heart because at the end of the day, your hometown, they've seen you grow since a baby, essentially. Like, they've seen, I mean, your music might have been bad, but now it might be really good. But they're going to always see that first impression of, like, man, like, I don't know. Like,
and I can tell you that from experience. Like, I know for a fact, for me, growing up, I wasn't the best. I was the only one that came out D1 senior year. And that was just because, bro, consistency, like AAU, et cetera. But it was just like everybody judged me off how trash I was growing up. So by the time I went D1, people was like, oh, he don't deserve it. What the freak is a HBCU? Like, what does Coppin State? So it was just like, you could see that in your example. You can literally see that. Like, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy, man.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, okay. That was the last one I wanted to ask real quick before we wrap it up. What do you think the future of social media marketing and stuff like that is?
Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question, boy. Man, I'll say this one thing. Within the next 5 years, I personally believe that every platform is going to cost, from Instagram to Meta to if TikTok's still around, but especially LinkedIn. I think that every platform is going to charge, and that's why we need to make sure to kill the game now while it's free. On top of that, master funnels right now before we start paying. And you put me on. I used to make every funnel from hand. I'm talking about white page. I used to make them from scratch. And you taught me about the go high levels that I use systems.io right now.
Yeah.
But just, I feel like the climate of social media, eventually everything's going to be charged. So you need to learn how to market outside of social media, but also market efficiently inside social media so that money you're spending every month is worth it.
Yeah.
Man, that LinkedIn price is insane.
Ooh, he's getting up
Bro,
there.
was it $100 a month for like the base one?
For the, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, oh.
I'm still on the free.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay on the free
But
for LinkedIn.
I like LinkedIn because industry leader wise, if you're killing the game in your industry, they're going to show love to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And I didn't know that until I started really diving into it. And it's like, okay, you're posting branding every day. We'll make you a branding leader if you answer these questions every week. You get what I'm saying? So these platforms are good. They might put us on the explore page, but they're not putting us in our target market.
Yeah.
And I would say that's why I said YouTube and LinkedIn are two of my favorites.
Yeah. LinkedIn's really good.
I have
But
to start getting heavy more on LinkedIn. I haven't really, but I've been hearing so many positive things about it again. So back in that.
And then Meta, like with their whole, have you heard about their staged verification that they're looking at pushing? Where it's just like tiered, like where you'll have, I forgot the exact numbers, but I remember seeing the top number was around $200 to $300 a month for verification.
Wow.
And that's,
What?
yeah. And I was just, I forgot what the exact breakdown per tier was, but it was like a bronze, gold, or bronze, silver, gold type
What do you
of package.
get with a $300?
That's just where they're like, you
What?
you get more exposure, the support, everything like that.
Oh, so you're paying
Yeah,
for views.
you have to pay for them to push you even more. Then you still got to pay for ads.
That's stupid. Yeah, that's dead.
Yeah.
I don't get that one.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll do it because they have to. That's not their target market.
No,
their target market is not made to pay $200, $300 for.
Yeah.
It's the people who just get their iPhones and tap
scroll
in.
the consumer.
Well, they
Their
wanna
target's
consumer.
the consumer.
Yeah, they
Right.
want the people that'll pay $10 to boost a post to make themselves feel good.
Right.
Like that's the whole like Instagram market. Now again with like things changing. What's your thoughts on AI?
I love AI, man.
Yeah.
I don't personally, and I think the reason why I can say I confidently love it is because I don't personally think any AI can ever take away somebody who's killing the game in their craft.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
if you're killing the game and you're learning every day and growing, you can't get beat out by AI. That's inevitably you can't. You're growing every day.
Yeah.
AI is learning, but they're still learning off of humans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I love AI. There's nothing that. But what I do hate about AI is that the stigma that is new. Like, bro, how long? I've been in business for 5 years. I've been using AI since day one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just hate the stigma that it's a new thing and we need to be ready for the future, bro.
Yeah,
No,
it's been
that was
out.
5 years
Yeah,
ago.
it's been out.
Yeah. Did you watch the WWDC, the new iPhone Apple conference?
Oh, that was
Dude.
just
I
a
didn't
couple
get
days
to.
ago, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
there's some really cool things. Go check it out. If anything, check out Marquise Brownlee's video on it, or Markel Brownlee. What is it?
Oh, that's that tech guy.
yeah,
Apple
yeah.
tech guy. Okay.
Check his video because he breaks it down like really efficiently. But they're working with OpenAI supposedly to incorporate like more AI features because on Android you could be like, hey, whatever their Brisby or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
Their version of Siri.
Siri.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know they had a.
Yeah. So, but you could ask it to open up Spotify and play X song.
Yeah.
Spotify, you can't really do that a whole lot. Or at least on Apple, from what
Yeah.
I've noticed,
You
it's
can't
like,
say, "Hey Siri, open up."
Yeah.
That
whatever.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That
and
makes
so,
sense.
but now with the AI, they're trying to be able to do more in-depth stuff like that. Again, yeah, I'll just go check out his video because he breaks it down like obviously way better than what I could. But yeah, they're bringing a lot more AI features in the iOS 18, I believe.
And
it is.
you can record calls now.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, so stay away.
Oh,
Catch-
shoot.
Catch me in person.
I didn't see that
me in
one.
person.
Hey, I mean,
That's not AI, but
Loom. I've been, man.
Well,
if,
yeah.
if I've caught you on a
for
Zoom
business.
call, you've been recorded.
Yeah. That's like.
Hey,
that's
shout out
business.
Kansas though. It's a one party consent state for recording. But no,
Good to
I
know.
definitely always record my sales calls, stuff like that, just because I like to just see where I messed up. Say a sales or like a client backed out. Man, I gotta see like, did I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how could have I said this better? And then even like having mentors, stuff like that, they always want to see the sales calls to see like how
Yeah,
you can
which
improve.
How you can
Yeah.
improve it and how they
Yeah.
can get better. And
Yeah.
I like that though. Like
Yeah.
my right hand man, he's on that. Like he'd be like, hey, can you like record? Can I just come and sit in your meetings because I want to know everything inside and out. And that's why he's my right hand man. I
Yeah.
love everything that he does. And you got to have that person who's looking.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hungry.
Yeah, I'd highly suggest using Loom. It's like $10 a month, but
Might check out Loom. For
yeah, it's
for damn sure.
it's like you could get OBS and you can
I think I have OBS.
yeah, so it's like you can screen record it yourself, but Loom, as soon as
Doesn't
you
it transcribe?
so it'll give you a transcription of everything. It will, as soon as you press stop, it uploads it to its server to where, again, like if your boy's like, hey, can I get a copy of that last call? Cool, just send them a link to it.
Yeah. I'm on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything from books to everything, I need that text message after this session.
Man, but I want to say thank you for coming on, hanging out with us for about an hour.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all letting me on, man. For sure,
Yeah.
y'all killing the game, man. I've been watching y'all, watching everything that y'all do personally as well. So I appreciate y'all, and I'm going to keep following y'all as well.
Cool. Where can people find you?
SteezeMarketing.com. Social media wise, Steeze Me Please on Instagram, and then Facebook, Daryl and Johnson, or Steeze Marketing, the Creative Network.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.